Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reckoning Wire, episode 3. And I had some computer problems last night, but we got our Rumble chat back. Yay! So now we can at least chat in Rumble. And of course, we're on YouTube. And I'm working on other sites to go live on. Pretty soon we'll be live on X and probably Pilled as well. So let's get into today's episode where we're breaking down more of the ABC agencies, NGOs.
Every line leads somewhere. Every knot ties a secret to a sin. And tonight, the wire hums with what folks don't want to hear. Follow it long enough, you reach the reckoning.
They don't want it seen. Funny thing about the truth, you can pin it to a board, draw lines around it, try to keep it still. But once it starts to burn, it doesn't stay put. It floats, it consumes. And if you're lucky, it shows you where the blood's really coming from. That's when the map starts to matter.
Dead drop received. Contents verified. You're cleared to view.
Excuse me, one sec. Ooh, had to sneeze. All right, everybody. I hope you guys liked yesterday's show where we kind of broke down into the ABCs. Yeah, last night we did go over. We actually went over the In-Q-Tel, where we were going over at least one of their non-profits, right? And yeah, those just link back to so much, right? Like we were saying last night with McCain, Arizona Institute, schools, hacking, telecoms. I mean, you name it. They've pretty much got their little tentacles in probably everything, right? So tonight we're going to continue on with our CIA affiliated nonprofits. Interesting, I was scrolling down this more and look what you got. The National Endowment for Democracy, the Freedom House, the National Democratic Institute, and the International Republican Institute. See, they got their fingers, little tentacles in everything. And if you guys have seen this one here lately, which I'm sure you have this past year, these are the ones that are kind of behind the whole Black Lives Matter, along with the Open Society. And pretty much just like Hugh told us, right? Let's start off today by looking at some deltas. This is usually how I This is how I start my day off. Is I look at the deltas that are coming up for the day. Then you kind of just sit back and watch how stuff folds right out for the day. So if you see this one with false flags, POTUS is 100% insulated, expect fireworks, justice. And if you've seen today, there's a bunch of people trying to impeach Hegseth, right? And you know that they're going to be coming after Trump because they already said it. If they win the midterms, they're coming for everybody. Which is funny how they can do that, right? They can just straight up say, yeah, we're coming for everybody. Trump supporters, Trump, anyone involved, we're coming after you. But if Trump says it, it's a dictatorship, authoritarian, and I don't think that they realize that there's millions and millions and millions of Americans that want justice now. Not later. Now. Like, there's been enough evidence out that there has to be some dang arrests, right? But we've seen that there's been a bunch of stuff that's been referred, yet rules for thee and not for me. But at the same time, I kind of just, like I said, we elected Trump to do a job. It's been 10 months. He had a rally last night, back on the campaign trail. And if you heard him last night, he said, Susie Trump, right? Oh, Susie Q. That's what we all think of, right? Once Susie came in. And she's putting him back on the campaign trail, right? Because just the Republican Party is screwed without Trump because they're a bunch of backboneless, spineless traitors, compromised, you name it. No, this is episode 3. We just kind of started off where we did yesterday. So sorry if that was confusing. I started off with our Grok research that we had going yesterday. And I always start the show off the same, right? With the intro and the countdown. So yeah, sorry everyone if I confused you, but we are on episode 3. I am live. Hello everybody. We got our chat back, right? Yesterday I couldn't chat. Today I can. Hello everyone. Your TV doesn't have episode 3. Well, I'm sorry for that being confusing, but we should be on episode 3, and I hope we're on episode 3. But yeah, we'll continue on. Q today, of course. Not today. Here we go. I'll say Hillary will be arrested was not December. We got blunt and direct time. Mr. Traitor Shifty Shift is a traitor to our country. He's a leaker of national security. He's evil. TikTok. Hope that 7.8 million was worth it. Enjoy the show. And this is kind of the stuff that's being brought back into light because once they open up that crime, right? For one thing, it kind of opens up to a lot more. And we know where this all leads. I will not go into that on this show. But yeah, if you remember, Adam Shifty Shift used to come out of the skiff, report falsely, and then go back in. I have it all. We have everything. They don't have jack shit. This one, I believe, was the Amsterdam, right? This one is the Netherlands. We got, oh, here's the scot-free one. And if you guys ever, this one, Q is teaching you like how to decode, right? The Air Force code change to Q0. The 0 on a phone is a plus, right? If you look at your phone right now and you go to the keypad, 0 will have a plus. So there is your Q plus. Q and POTUS, Twitter for a zero delta exchanges. Fake news, coordinated attacks. Number 2 only to POTUS, meaning Q being attacked is number 2 only to POTUS. How do you safely and securely communicate through a back channel with the public and bypass the fake news media? How do you safely and securely communicate without breaking the law and violating national security? Add multiple layers of coincidences which mathematically prove legitimacy. Apparently I cannot pronounce words. Standard deviation. At what point do people wake up? All right. So in this one, they're actually showing you, right? The Trump train. Only Trump can unite America and fix Obama's mistakes. And you know how these images are small? Are they small enough for us to blow up? All right. It's happening, bros. I repeat, it's happening. Right? What the heck is he doing up? It's midnight. He did it himself. Right? The Anons are going crazy. I tweeted this to show I listen. This is the only post I will make. He walks among us. Remember that this happened. And it's the Trump train. Mr. Trump, if you actually do lurk here and you like this meme, please use the word amazing somehow in your next tweet. This will be a wink and a nod on the down low that you appreciate all of us here. Thank you, MAGA. And this, that wonderful map, is according to Nate Plastic, what would happen if the election were held today. You can turn that one California red. I'm joking. The very next week, Colorado was amazing yesterday. So much support. Our tax, trade, and energy reforms will bring great jobs to Colorado and the whole country. And there's your amazing. Amazing. Right? So there's the example for that one. And I believe in this one, they're actually showing you only Trump can unite America and fix Obama's mistakes. So this was Q telling us, right? That scot-free one, which I don't know why that did not pull it up, but it's so cool that it's there now, huh? And did you notice that was a Pepe? Patriotic Pepe. Of course, their account suspended. Elon. But there you go. Patriotic Pepe. And you remember the scot-free one is how he said it. They're scot-free. Scot-free leads back to where we go when we go all, because they're the ones that made. And then I'm gonna draw a blank. The movie. Oh man. Of course, some of our favorite memes, right? Now that Russia collusion is a proven lie. When did the trials for treason begin? And you see POTUS retruthing the Trump train. Define projection. Define getting ahead of the story. What is scheduled to happen this week? Is that a coincidence? Panic? This is as real as it gets. There's no escape. There's no deals. Add Brennan to graphic and update. Evil has no place here. Next, we have POTUS, the NSA, United States military, G, the Freedom Caucus, Eastern Time, Foreign and Domestic Patriots, 2015, to fight the fight to save the world. Now we see the Anons upgrading the graphic, right? This one has no Brennan. This one has Brennan. And they say, thank you, Patriot. Fire at will, meaning launch that meme, right? Public awakening equals game over. And Brennan, whenever we see you tweeting like a seditious clown, John Brennan, we know you are projecting your guilt and corruption in your own vile effort to continue to deceive the American people. You know how much blood you have on your hands and the treason you have committed. Tick tock. And that's from Brennan himself saying, whenever you send out such insane tweets, I take great solace in knowing that you realize how much trouble you are in and how impossible it will be for you to escape American justice. They're openly admitting it, right? Mostly, I am relieved that you will never have the opportunity to run for the public office again. Projection. Not. What else we got? Do you believe in coincidences? Example 22A, which is one of hundreds, drops layered to provide advanced knowledge. Don't let them divide you. Panic button pushed. And this one is Q predicting the failed NYC. So if you guys want to look at that one, you can. I will not go into that just to stay safe on the tube. That is 2572. The times are too grave, the challenge too urgent, and the stakes too high to permit the customary passions of political debate. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through the future, through the darkness to a safe and sane future. AFK. France. Which I find this one funny. Remember them saying that they wanted to take back the Statue of Liberty? The plan to have the Fed raise rates, steep incline beginning March 2019 in an effort to kill the economy prior to the 2020 presidential election, is known and planned for. Structure change coming. Yeah, something sure did happen, right? In 2019. Those with the most to lose are the loudest. Those who knowingly broke the law in a coordinated effort, treason, are the most vocal. Crimes against humanity. Samantha J. Powell. I'm sure they're still at it. And then Nate Kane did a good video too. You kind of have to. I do have it. I think I have it on my YouTube channel, I think. Probably on my Rumble. But with one of his videos. Maybe we'll watch that one of these days. Sometimes intrusions have a way of safeguarding people and evidence. Sometimes intrusions are a necessary event in order to safeguard chain of custody, post OIG, WB status, and the documents handover protocols. Active criminal investigations of this magnitude must be handled with extreme care. The moment your name went live, there was no other choice. Keep the faith, Patriot. You're never alone. there's some of the deltas just for today. And interesting that today, right? Feds raise the rates. But then ironically, today they come out with the Fed lowering the rates, right? That was just today. So if you guys want to see how that we kind of line up the Q proofs, right? Q is telling us here on the same day, right? On the 10th, that the plan to have the Fed raise rates a steep incline beginning March 2019 in an effort to kill the economy. And then today, we have the Fed approves third rate cut this year. These slower pace ahead, right? So do you guys kind of see how these Q proofs are still somehow playing out on the exact day that Q is talking about Fed rates raising? And today they lowered them. So interesting. Fulfilling expectation of a hawkish cut. And look, they even say the central bank's Federal Open Market Committee. Say that again. The central bank's Federal Open Market Committee. They even admit it, right? I mean, it's right there for you. Right there in front of your face, the central bank. I mean, how much more do you need? Coming from CNBC. The central bank's Federal Open Market Committee lowered its key overnight borrowing rate by a 0.25 point, putting it at a range between 3.5 and 3.75. However, the move carried false flags about whether policy is headed from here and features no votes from 3 members, which hasn't happened since September 2019. 2019. Well, we got 2018. You told us 2019. And here they even say September 2019. And that's how stuff lands up and lines up with Q. Somehow, future always proves the past, right? I don't know how it happens, but it does. And this is why I say, you look at the news, you look at your deltas in the morning, they're telling you about the Feds raising the rates. We get, what is that? 8 years later, they're lowering the rates and talking about September of 2019. Look, the Great Recession, pandemic recession, was where? Here? No. Yeah, right here. That's a recession. Like, what happened right here? It all just fell until Trump came in. Trump comes in and then what do we get? July 2023, we see a sharp decrease, just like you told us, right? There's March 18th, 2019. An incline beginning March 2019. March 2018. And then you start to see the decline in July. Straight to nothing. Then we get the pandemic recession until Joe decides to spend all that damn money. And straight up to 5%. But they would never admit that we were in a recession, right? Remember they renamed. Yeah, they renamed in the was it Wikipedia where they renamed recession to not be two consecutive GDP but to 4. They even tried to rename stuff while Joe was over here just fucking everything up, right? So yeah, it almost looks like it all plays out, right? But I mean, here's Mr. Savior, right? Obama enters office and flatline. Interesting graph. But goes right on to what you told us. Except today, we get it dropping finally, right? Trump comes in office, we go to 4, 4.3, 3.8, 3.6, 3.5. Then there'll probably be another one that'll get down to 2. And who knows what Scott Bennett's finding while he's in there digging around. You heard Trump tell him yesterday that he's the savior in the room. He looks like a nice guy, but he's not. He's a killer. But like I said, that is another Q proof right there with the feds. And of course, Brennan is just who knows where he's at, right? I hear you, Lulu. It can't come soon enough, right? The world is watching. United, not divided. Together we win. Where we go when we go all. At the South Pole. So yeah, there is a Q proof for you right there. And straight from the drops. Straight from a delta near you. And I mean, look, just there's 443 posts about the 3-letter agency. Oh. There are 77 posts. And it's crazy all the information that's came out this year. I mean, look, the stuff came out about Barr, who went against Trump and was behind the whole Mar-a-Lago raid. Right? Setting him up. We know Barr's ties back to his daddy, which ties back to Epstein. But yeah, I mean, the CIA is just all over the Q drops from the very beginning, right? They missed this in 2016 and desperately attempted to censor now due to CIA cash infusions. This will fail. What happens if the truth about Haiti is released? Do Democrats lose majority of the vote? Through the looking glass. And we've heard a lot about that one attempting to come out too, which I believe the Clinton Foundation is under investigation. Military intelligence versus the FBI, CIA, and the NSA. You see that? E. the military intelligence versus the three-letter agencies, right? FBI, CIA, and the NSA. You have the Santa hammer. No approval or congressional oversight. State secrets are upheld under. Why am I drawing Bill Clinton? Yeah. Yep, Bill Clinton testifies on December 17th. I think Hillary is on the 15th or something like that. The Epstein files are. Hillary is the 18th. Thank you. Yeah, and then the 19th, the Epstein files are supposed to be out, right? So there's a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. All right, who is the commander-in-chief of the military? Under what article can the president impose a military intelligence takeover of investigations for the three-letter agencies? What conditions must present itself? And why is this so very important? Who surrounds POTUS? They lost this very important power. One area of the government not corrupt and directly serves POTUS. Remember that, guys. Military intelligence versus the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA. I don't think these ones, right, were on our side. They were against Trump. Just like the current information that has come out that all of them were against Trump, and they still are. Which means that Brennan has probably still got his, right, blackmail ties, of course, since he's been running it since, what, the 90s? This one was always good because you can tie this one back. Why does Obama travel in advance of POTUS to foreign locations? And let's see. There's this little fake ass Washington flight. All right, he was just in the UK, right? And I think that was right before Trump went to. Okay. Where was he at? I know we just had his punk ass there. Heads to the UK for talks, July. And then I think POTUS went in. When did POTUS? Was it May when he met with, when he did his Saudi trip? May. Well, see, they always say, like, why is Obama traveling in advance? And you know that he was working, yep, huge company, but he was working with the MI6 and the three-letter, right? So there's a lot of those companies that help spy, or countries that help spy as well, which is why Trump has them right there in the Oval Office every time, pulls them right in. Dog's the one the one guy, right, from Australia that was against him. Oh man, and then you're just living this right now, right? Like, why do the Democrats project racism on a daily basis against Republicans? Why do black elected officials do the crazy talk on behalf of the Democrats? Like JC, Jasmine Crockett. Like Trump says, not related to Davy Crockett. How the Democrats cover their historical facts of forming the Confederacy, the KKK, and oppose all things pro-black regarding legislation. What happens if they lose their grip? Why do Democrats, through the funding of the CIA, prop up and install Hollywood and media assets? What did you see through Kamala's whole thing, right? They spent millions of dollars and got fined. Does this fall within Operation Mockingbird? Right? The CIA, the Hollywood and the media assets, right? The Hollywood children. Does this fall within Operation Mockingbird? What were the historical advantages of the Democrats gained by having the mainstream media and famous people peddling a narrative who exposed the pedo network within Hollywood? You can't answer the above, you can't answer the above, but will laugh once disclosed details. The network which controls this false narrative, which in turn keeps the black population under control, is being dismantled. False local and national black leaders will be exposed next as shills for the Democrat Party. Follow the money. Which I love when Kevin Cork is on Fox here lately. That's what he's been saying. You just have to follow the money. Maxine Waters has a $4 million home and cash assets in excess of $6 million. How is that possible? There's only one example. All of these questions help to paint the full picture. So we won't go through all of the CIA things that was told, right? But note, military intelligence has the same SAPs as the NSA, the CIA, etc., as designated post 9/11. Why is this relevant? Who can be held hostage and controlled? Blackmail, right? By the CIA. CIA thinks its foreign offshore assets are strong enough to defend against the U.S. executive, not accounting for military use on domestic soil. So why does the Constitution explicitly grant this authority to the president, and what is it to prevent? They knew our agencies would grow in power so much so they could and can hold the executive hostage or engage with bad actors. Trump nominated someone new to direct every agency but one. Who controls the top? And yeah, guys, this stuff goes deep, right? I mean, look at last night. We were doing research and we found the OSS, right? Still getting grants and funding from their NGO, right? Would it blow your mind if I told you that Barack Hussein Obama has been to North Korea and perhaps there now? Why did his administration do little to slow their nuclear and missile capabilities? Who feeds North Korea with strategic intel? Iran? What deal was done with Iran under Barack Obama? Why was the deal sealed under a top secret classification? And why hasn't Congress been notified? Why, after Barack Obama left office, all of a sudden North Korea has nukes and the tech to miniaturize for payload delivery within the U.S.? What about the NSA, the the CIA, the DI, etc., all confirming tech won't be in place for the next 5+ years. That was statements made in 2016. Why is all of this relevant? And what does it tell you? The big picture is rare. 40,000 foot view, right? And then you know that Google, was it Eric Smith, I believe is his name, right? Was in North Korea with Barack Obama. Hilton set up all of this, right? With this in Iran, we had the Iran deal. We had cash loads of money dropped off in the middle of the night in deserts, right? To cover for Hillary not winning. So much, right? And then why is this information regarding Barack Obama important regarding Uranium One and export approval to Canada to the EU? Once again, where is this asswipe today? Did BO and his admin ever make false statements that Uranium One would never be exported from the US? Who made those statements and who did they report to? Why is this relevant? The public has been given a select taste, i.e. a sampling. Rest assured others have it all, 100% verifiable and impossible to refute. Why is this relevant? Well, who controls the narrative? Why are left-wing organizations beginning to report on the DNC and Democrat corruption? Does the CIA have operators inside the mainstream media? Well, the CIA is the freaking mainstream media. What happens if it's exposed? What happens if tied back as knowingly, right? Knowing to executives of the news agencies? What does this have to do with the leaking? What if it can be verified? No source stories made up were in fact and approved to be published. The wormhole goes deep. And then if you want to, this is when, if you remember, POTUS used a third party, right? And went again around the 3-letter agencies because they were against them. And in this post, this is 2017, right? Let's be clear. You're telling us POTUS is currently under attack by his own intelligence agencies? And instead, let's be real clear. The CIA just attacked the commander-in-chief, which was immediately detected by the NSA and military intelligence and alerted to POTUS. Re-review all my crumbs, including today, yesterday, and the weekend. What does this mean? What actions are immediately occurring? If this leaks or the immediate action ongoing at Langley, you'll have your verification ahead of schedule, right? So, boom, they're telling you that the 3-letter just attacked the commander-in-chief and was immediately detected by military intelligence, right? And then, interesting enough, we have Seth Rich that comes up after that, right? Seth Rich is only mentioned because it directly relates to Saudi Arabia, to Las Vegas. What hotel did the reported gunfire occur from? And you guys, most of you have been down the Las Vegas one, right? I've been a little bit down that one and have seen enough that, yeah, that was, right? Trump saved MBM, right? MSM is the CIA counter-ops, and it will all fall down. And then they're telling us about the supercomputers, right? The CIA has 7 supercomputers, and they are all named after what? Snow White. The 7 dwarfs from Snow White. Doc, Dopey, Bashful, Grumpy, Sneezy, Sleepy, and Happy. And if you guys have never went down that one, here you go. They even give you links, right, that tell you exactly the spies and espionage being talked about as early as the 500 BC. when a Chinese diplomat and a military strategist named Sun Tzu wrote a still very famous book called The Art of War. So see, we even got the art of war coming in, right? And in the United States, we have two agencies with spies, the FBI and the CIA. The CIA is not supposed to be operating inside of America, right? The CIA is always monitoring every single television station and program. Every 5 years, all CIA employees must take a lie detector or polygraph test. The CIA felt it was too much of a security risk to allow a person to come to their offices and mow their lawns. So they had their scientists invent robot lawnmowers to do the job. See what I mean? Like, what the shit? The CIA has its own police force and its own zip code. Some medicines may cause people to talk while asleep during an operation. If a CIA officer has surgery, another CIA officer must be there to make sure nothing secret is said. And one of the coolest things we explored during the program were the various tools that spies have used and still use, like pagers that blow up, for their work. Some of these tools include listening devices in watches and shoe heels, microdot cameras, cipher discs from the 1700s, look at that, and up. The Enigma machine used by the Germans during World War II. Objects with secret compartments like shoe heels, empty shaving cream cans, and even eggshells. Can you say James Bond? Weapons like a lipstick gun, a ring gun, a flashlight gun, and the famous Bulgarian umbrella. So it's funny that like we get all these movies, right? They gave us James Bond. They gave us all these spy movies where they actually use this stuff, right? And it wasn't James Bond, wasn't it Q? So, there you go. They even talk about the art of war. They talk about listening devices straight in your TV. And even better than tools was our discussion about animal spies. Homing pigeons, which has been used forever. Dolphins wearing special cameras patrolled on the West Coast. This is true. I've seen them. I've seen them train. The doomed and very expensive CIA project Acoustic Kitty. Bomb sniffing bees. And an adrenaline sniffing gerbil. And spy squirrels. Oh, man, is that why they killed that squirrel? Was he a spy? You guys remember when the FBI, was it the FBI, took that squirrel from that guy? Spy squirrel. That is just the Mad Scientist Club. So yeah, here's just a couple of stuff that Q gives us, right? And you can keep going down this. Like Google has a gajillion freaking, yeah, it was Peanut, right? Thank you, Dick Tracy. Don't have to put the squirrels, right? It was Peanut. But I find it funny, right? They said the spine squirrels. Let's see what it opens into. We got, I've heard of flying squirrels, but I don't know about a spying squirrel. Hey, if you go down the conspiracy loop enough, right? Are birds real or do they just watch us? Homing pigeons. Like I said, pigeons have been used for forever. Of course. whatever the hell they had linked is no mas. The Huffington Post, birds, cats, squirrels, and insects used for espionage. The vulture was recently arrested in Saudi Arabia, accused of being a spy for Israel's Mossad foreign intelligence agency. When it may seem like an unusual occurrence, this vulture is just one of many animals that have been accused of spying. From insects to squirrels to animals have been accused of various forms of espionage over the years. As technology continues to develop, it seems that this trend may escalate. Hey, Stevie. We're just going over spy animals, spy squirrels, a spy vulture from the Mossad, aka CIA. I know everyone thinks Mossad controls CIA, but I think it's the other way around. Look at this. What is this? Did they really name something the Palisades? Hey, it does look good though. And then it's all an electric car. It's just all That car does look badass, but it's probably electric, and it's not like it's a V8 or a V12 or a V6, right? It's just all. It looks fast, though. I say they stole, though. That looks like a freaking Mercury Cougar, does it not? With the lights. Maybe it's not the same way, right? The lights go down instead. You guys remember the Mercury? The Cougar. One of the coolest tail lights, right? On a car. Back in the days. That's what that one reminds me of. But Palisade, really? Electric cars die on the mountain? Yeah. I believe it. Yep. Hyundai was shut down for using the illegals. They all do, though. They're going to get booted out, or they're all going to leave, and then they're going to have nothing. They're going to have to turn back to the good old American worker. Tow their cars gently down the hill. That'll be $400. Thank you. And there's the In-Q-Tail and the Asian Foundation. I mean, like, even Google, like, admits this one, right? I think I see Mike Benz going over this one the other day. But yeah, see, was the Asian Foundation, the TAF, was indeed founded by the CIA in 1954 as a proprietary front to conduct cultural and educational activities for U.S. foreign policy goals. I don't know how, like, they're just able to keep we'll just leave it there, but even this one goes pretty freaking deep, right? The stolen history of the CIA and the Asian Foundation. So, but interesting, right? That's after they tell us about In-Q-Tail, and then they're telling us about the Asian Foundation. And the happy hunting always means start digging, right? So it's crazy how much information that Q gave us back here. And here we are like 8 years later, right? And all of this is like straight on Google. Where 8 years ago you couldn't Google this and find shit. What do they got going on here? I hate when they mess up the links. Wired. Oh. Exclusive. Google and CIA invest in future of web monitoring. The investment arms of the CIA and Google are both backing a company that monitors the web in real time and says it uses that information to predict the future. Hello, Looking Glass. The company is called Recorded Future, and it scores tens of thousands of websites, blogs, and Twitter accounts to find the relationship between people. So the investment arms, not arms, and we know that the investment arm of the CIA is In-Q-Tel, right? In-Q-Tel. The company is called Recorded Future. Freaky freaking name. The state of threat intelligence. What the hell did that say? How many separate enterprises use threat detection? And here we go. All tied up in one big slam. Invested, and you got IBM, Amazon, Dodge Cummins, right? TD Bank America, Sturger and everything. If it isn't through them, it's through their conglomerate of NGOs and private companies and shell companies, and you freaking name it, they got their dirty little hands in it, right? Oh, look, examines Russia, India, China, trilateral cooperation, U.S. tariffs and sanctions, and why a formal block is unlikely, and implications for governments and businesses. Right? So, here we go again. CIA and Google together. Online momentum. You can predict the curve. A former, look at this, a former Swedish Army Ranger with a PhD in computer science. Interesting. Which naturally makes the 16-person Cambridge, Massachusetts firm attractive to Google Ventures. See, the search giant's investment division, and to In-Q-Tel, which handles similar duties for the CIA. So what is the search giant's investment division? Oh, they're talking about Google Ventures. Durr. And In-Q-Tel. Not the very first time Google has done business with America's spy agencies. Long before it reportedly enlisted the help of the National Security Agency to support its networks, Google sold equipment to the Secret Signals Intelligence Group. In-Q-Tel backed the mapping firm Keyhole, which was brought by Google in 2004 and then became the backbone of Google Earth, which is what we went over yesterday. But this appears to be the first time, however, that the intelligence community and Google had funded the same startup at the same time. No one is accusing Google of directly collaborating with the CIA. Bullshit. But the investments are bound to be fodder for critics of Google, who already see the search giant as overly cozy with the US government and worry that the company is starting to forget its "don't be evil" mantra. And then America's spy services have become increasingly interested in mining open source intelligence. Information that's not publicly available, but often hidden in the daily avalanche of TV shows, newspaper articles, blog posts, online videos, and radio reports. Like yours truly. Yep, Stevie, you got it. Al Walid bin Tabal. But that's why O'Boomer is in the UK, because he's looking for a new handler, right? His handler is gone. They can't use Saudi Arabia anymore. Look at the strength and the ties that Trump has now with them, right? And that he's always had. That's why he calls out the fist bump, right? From Biden. And they can actually, or let's say, we're right there as it happens. Anger told Danger Room as he clicked through a demonstration. We can assemble actual real-time dossiers on people. Recorded feature certainly has the potential to spot events and trends. So just think of that, right? You got the CIA and Google both investing in this company that does real-time data tracking and dossiers on people in real time. We'll just leave that there. Because Google can't do it. CIA can't do it. So they use third-party firms to do it instead. And see, both of them made their investments in 2009. Shortly after it was founded, the exact amounts weren't disclosed, but were under 10 million each. Google's investment came to light earlier this year online. In-Q-Tel, which often announces its new holdings in press releases, quietly uploaded a brief mention of its investments a few weeks ago. Both In-Q-Tel and Google Ventures have seats on Recorded Future's board. Albrecht says those board members have been very helpful, providing business and technology advice, as well as introducing him to potential customers. Of course, both organizations, it's safe to say, will profit handsomely if Recorded Future is ever sold or taken public. Albrecht's last company, the corporate intelligence firm Spotfire, was acquired in 2007 for $195 million in cash. And there you go. Email one-line statement from the IQ-Tel staff. We are pleased that Recorded Future is now part of IQT's portfolio of innovative startup companies who support the mission of the United States intelligence community. So, there you go. Just because Google and Intel both invested in Recorded Future doesn't mean Google is suddenly in bed with the government. Yes, it does. Of course, to Google's critics, including, of course, always conservative legal groups and Republican congressmen, the Obama administration and the Mountain View, California company slipped between the sheets a long time ago. And there's the guy, Eric Schmidt, who's got TS just like everybody else. So see, guys, like, we haven't even go back to the article with BO. Let's see, that one was let's see, where were we? Was it this one? Yep. Here, I'll put it in the chat. There you go. I think this is the one we were on, right? Yeah. And I always think of this last one with Trump, right? Reading with the king, and the king just tighten his neck when he talks about Q. Nope, that was not the one. All right, well, let's see which one it was then. I don't remember then. I'm pretty sure this was the one where he was. Let's see. September 2025. Nope. Well, I don't remember clicking on a bunch of Obama ones, but yeah, I don't remember. Well, we all know that he went in 2025 because we've seen it, right? Speaking at an event titled "An Evening with Asshat President Barack Obama" in London. Yep, I'm not sure. Oh, hello, Leslie. But yeah, you guys can always research this, right? Like, there's so much freaking shit of him over in the UK. He denounces Trump's Tylenol claims. But yeah, I thought that was the only one I clicked on, maybe. Ooh, look at this one, was just published in December 8th. Mega rich Barack Hussein Obama spotted leaving a UK mega mansion amid indictment rumors. Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. I told you he's looking for a new handler. Barack Obama was just seen stepping out of his newly bought multi-million-dollar home in London. So he moved to London and bought a house, huh? How many freaking houses is that? The former U.S. president and his wife have not only snapped up this luxury pad, but also shifted a hefty chunk of their assets to the UK. Holy shit. Let's read that again. The former U.S. president and his wife have not only snapped up this luxury pad, but also shifted a hefty chunk of their assets to the UK. Yeah. B.O. is running, and he didn't go to Africa because he can't go there right now. Kenya's not safe, so he's got to flood to London. Rumors swirl of a federal indictment hitting Obama in the new year. Like, can we start off 2026 with him getting arrested? Go there, Cash, and go get his ass. allegedly tied to his role in the Russiagate saga. The timing begs a stark question: is Obama prepping a gateway to the UK, banking on the protection of a friendly, liberal government? Was that a flight risk or a political move? Critics claim this is no coincidence. They argue Obama is a clear and present flight risk who has dodged accountability before. Calls are growing for Trump administration to seize his passport and place him under tight surveillance until the Florida grand jury issues any charges. Diplomatic pressure on UK to act. Pressure is mounting for President Trump to warn UK Labour leader Keir Starmer that harboring Obama could spark severe sanctions on America's ally. The demand is loud and clear. Arrest Obama now before it's too late. Well, uknip.co.uk, we agree with you. Arrest that bastard now. But there he is, right? Moving to freaking the UK. And shifted a hunky chunk of his assets. I don't think that he ain't being spied on, and that they don't have his hunky chef, right? His hunky chunk, his hefty chunk of the assets to UK. That's a big one though, right? Like he bought. Wow. And this was just on the 8th of December, as you see. 2025, just a couple days ago. Mr. Barack Hussein Obama running to the UK, to the liberal government, and shifted a hefty chunk of his assets to the Queen to protect his ass. That's what it sounds like to me, right? King, protect me. Have Starmer and the Laborer already shown they were listening? When was this one? October. See, October, July. Like, how much has this ass hat been in freaking the UK? My goodness. Oh, you want that one? Here. I don't know if you were saying to repost this one or repost my stream. Either way. The UK NIP, UK News and Pictures. Mr. Barack Hussein Obama buying a mansion in the UK and shifted a hefty chunk of their assets. Now that reminds me of, remember when Q was telling us about assets, about Soros transferring his assets? Why did Soros transfer his bulk public funds to a nonprofit? Note, this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pooled by several high-ups. Right? Slush funds. Why did Soros transfer his bulk public funds? Why did Soros traffic the bulk of his public funds to an MPO? Right? Soros transfer of wealth. Dopey freed. Marriage for power, not love. Hilton, Roth, Soros, Clinton, etc. News unlocks the map. Think of the mirror. Which team? They don't know. Apache. People are evil. They still don't believe you are sheep, or still do not believe that you are sheep to them. 2020 coming. Public is vital. Release all info vital. Outrage. Justice. Can we simply arrest the opposition without first exposing the truth? Follow the light. But right? Soros transfer of wealth. That's exactly what it reminds me. Is that a signal to POTUS that they control the market? Is it a signal, a threat? Welcome to the global world. Right? Why is MS-13 a priority? Good people pay such kings to pew-pew opponents, and why and how to insulate against exposure. The truth is mind-blowing and cannot fully be exposed. These people are evil. Operation Mockingbird. Right? And if you think about DC and about what did we just have a couple weeks ago, right? We had the shooter in DC that shot 2 National Guards, right? Was he this? No, but this is how they use this, right? As this. So, it always interests me when they start talking about the transfer of funds. It reminds me of Soros, and why did he transfer the bulk of his public funds to an MPO? Why is this relevant? Who owes a lot to very bad actors? How can she repay as a payment was made under promise of victory? What cash payments occurred, right, under BO during the last 90 days of his presidency to the foreign states and or organizations? What slush funds did AG Sessions through the DOJ put an end to? How does Soros, Obama, Clinton, Holder, Lynch, etc., all names that are coming out in the mainstream media, etc., all net millions of dollars normally within a single tax year? What was negotiated on the tarmac between Bill Clinton and Lynch? A Supreme Court position, possibly? Remember, as expected, HRC was going to win during this time period. What if the Wizards and Warlocks tipped off a local reporter as to the supposed unscheduled stop? What if the NSA, under the personal direction from Admiral R, had this meeting miscategorized and logged under a false identity to prevent bad actors from locating, while also verifying to said players all was clear? There's no logs. What really happened when the Wizards and Warlocks revealed what they had? Was Comey forced into the spotlight shortly thereafter, not by choice? Right before the election, no doubt, which would cast suspicion. These are crumbs, and you cannot imagine the full and complete picture. If Trump failed, if we failed, and the HRC assumed control, we as patriots were prepared to do the unthinkable. This was leaked internally and kept the delegate recount scam and BO from declaring fraud. So instead he couldn't declare fraud because they told him, we got your ass. So instead he designed a coup, right? Dig deeper. This is missing critical points to paint the full picture. There is simply no other way. Oh my, Jamie, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too, love. Thank you so much, Jamie. Dig deeper. We're missing critical points to paint the full picture. There is simply no other way than to use the military. It is that corrupt and dirty. Please be safe and pray for those in harm's way as they continually protect and serve our great country. Right? What is military intelligence? No media, no leaks. How many million military generals have been in and out of the White House in the last 30 days? Focus on Flynn. Background and potential role. What is the common denominator in terms of military black backgrounds close to POTUS? Right? Why did the memo drop a Friday and before the SB? Did this seem strange to you? Watch the news. The Rothschilds estate sale, Black Forest. Start market dive, 66 cents, coincidentally. Soros transfers of wealth. Dopey was freed. Right? Why was that memo dropped on Friday? And you can see right here, Rothschild's estate sale, which I believe just happened not too long ago. Look at that. 162 world records as historic Rothschild's wine sale. Treasures from Rothschild family collect fetch over 62 million at an auction. So now they're auctioning stuff off, right? Straight into the cellar, this Rothschild collection is one of the greatest wine collections ever sold. What do we got here? This is what Q is talking about. Rothschild's family sells large Austrian hunting estate. This French castle is a whisper listed for 425 million and could be the world's priciest home ever sold. Owned by the Rothschilds. Right? So sometimes this is what you got to do. You just kind of got to go into the news. You got to look. You got to see what the news is actually reporting on, right? Art, furniture, and more from the Rothschilds family's private collection could fetch 30 million in unprecedented New York sale. And look at these. 2023, 2023, 2023, 2023, 2024. Right? A collection of extravagant Rothschild treasures. Well, that's a lot of gold, isn't it? You guys want to look for some symbolism? What can we find? What can we find? You know there's always hidden stuff, especially from the Rothschilds, right? But just ask yourself, why are they having auctions and wine sales and selling property, right? Why are they selling everything off? And you guys might have to refresh your page, because right before I went live, I was adding emotes. So we do have some Pepe emotes that I put. So if you don't see it, probably have to refresh your chat. Like, what the hell is this damn thing? It's a living museum. Gosh. All right, do you guys know about the living museums, right? Like live art. Let me see if this will come up. If I can think of here. Live art cannot be. Remember, like, something about like they couldn't investigate at the port like live art containers or something like that. Do you guys remember that? Like, this is the shit I tell you. You try to search certain stuff and it's just like they act fucking stupid, right? Like, oh, are you transforming a shipping container into a glowing art freaking gallery? Oh, you idiot. Come on, Google. You know what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And this is what I say, like, I've never seen live art. Yeah, me neither. Ever. But those are like key words. Live art is when they transfer their diamonds. Let's just put it like that. But funny how you try to look this crap up, right? And it just comes up with like shipping containers instead of what I'm asking for. And look, there's not even like a news, right? All shopping, images, videos, video, forum. No, give me the news. Yeah, it's just, see, like, you see how this is what I talk about, how shit's just buried. Just buried. Talking about crap they know I'm not talking about. Alright, we won't go into that one. I think you guys know what I'm talking about when I say live art. Live art containers don't get searched. They don't. Even though Google just told me that that's bull. But they don't. Like, we just... Right, Stevie? Wasn't there just... This year has flown by. Like, it's already freaking December. So trying to say, like, timeline when shit actually happened. But, like, didn't they just find a container of, like, live art that they couldn't search? Or they don't search? Or it was something like that, right? All right, well, that's a whole nother freaking rabbit hole. You guys are smart enough that I think you know what I'm talking about. Scandal of live art, perhaps. Yeah, no, Google is very kind of limited on that, right? Like, you even seen that there was not even a news section. Like, you had to drop the drop down, right? They're trying to show me images and videos of like containers turned into live art. Bullshit, right? And look, so influential was the 19th century European look that elite American families like the Estors and the Vanderbilts clamored to replicate in their gilded aged mansions. The Rothschilds' taste. Gold, right? Just like Q told us about the gold. There it is. Dun, 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 dun. And what's it even say? Rothschilds old. Ancient Egyptians conquer or considered gold the skin of the gods, specifically the sun god Ra, and often used it to create or to craft objects of spiritual significance. But there you go, Q talking about the gold, right? And that's what I always think of, like Rothschilds always reminds me of this picture. And then you're looking at, I still can't believe that this asshat is buying a UK mansion and running. Doesn't surprise me none. He couldn't buy one in Kenya. That would be too obvious. Yeah, there you go. You guys can drop it in the chat. I'm going to be very weary on that one when it comes to just the boob tube and, right, Rumble. You guys have seen me get my show kicked off a million times when we do our streams, and yeah, we'll leave that for another show. But like I said, you guys are smart enough. Marie, you definitely know. So yeah, we'll just leave those there. But interesting, now we got a wine sale, right? A single bottle sold for $387,000 as a historic wine auction of the Rothschild family collection. Damn. 1870. No, you're good. You're good, Stevie. Don't restrain yourself, right? Like, please drop it, right? Like, drop it in the chat so everyone can go search. Yeah, never restrain yourself. I just have to restrain myself. Just a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You guys know I don't really give a shit, but it'd be nice to keep a channel for a little bit. This one was 1870, right? Magnum of Chateau Latif or Lafitte or Rothschild. So that's crazy. And here you go. Jacqueline was born into the Rothschilds family and lived 100 years. She was an international chess competitor, an artist, a patron of the arts, and was a very good wine collector. So there's your wine that sold for, man, that's a lot for one bottle, right? And here's the gold. The gold, the gold. I mean, Trump loves gold too, but there's no tie between those two, right? A once-in-a-lifetime assortment of Rothschild treasures. A modern-day branch of the family in France decided to part with some coveted possessions that had been installed at the Chateau de Ferries outside Paris and the Rothschilds' townhouse on Rue Saint-Florent in the heart of the city. Well-heeled builders packed into the sale suits, deftly competing with global collectors online and on the phone for 3 live auctions that set records. Combined with a separate online sale, Christie's took in more than $62 million, with bidders hailing from the 40 nations. Elite numbers for an elite auction. Look at this. Quality pieces with many dating back to the Renaissance and the Baroque periods. The golden ages for collecting. That's why Christie's packed up the top lots and sent them on a worldwide tour. Elaborate viewing vignettes were set up in London, Hong Kong, and New York City. All to tempt the world's most astute concierge. Look at this one, a Dutch silver gilded mounted Nautilus cup, circa 1607. But this kind of tells you, like, they have family treasures from the freaking 1600s. This is the shit we've been telling everybody that, right? These are one of those 13 families, right? A 17th century Italian ormolu. This is crazy, right? I mean, look at this. Someone probably paid a freaking $1 million for this crap, right? Like, crazy. And yeah, just crazy how they just started auctioning everything off, right? And not just like, this was stuff from, like I said, the 1600s, the 1700s. Yeah, brave Brave usually doesn't censor either. Or I think like someone else was saying DuckDuckGo. But since I was on Google already, we were here. But yeah, here's some of their stuff, right? Even that weird video. See what upcoming auctions do they have? But just crazy, right? How freaking the Rothschilds are signing everything off, right? Kind of makes no sense why they would be selling their most prized possessions. I don't know. I can't really click in none of this crap. It just opens to another page and another page. That's just how it is. Like, what is this? What is this weird looking thing? We got I don't really know what any of that crap is, to tell you the truth. This is what their estate used to look like. Right, Stevie? They own all the stuff, and somehow it increases in wealth as they sell it to another rich person that buys it for more money. But I think the most important part is that they are selling it, right? And why are they selling it? And I think just Trump that too. But you told us why they're selling stuff off. And no coincidence, that's in October. Right, is stuff coming out about Epstein and right? A lot of stuff coming out. It looks cocky and cheap looking in my opinion. Exactly, Stevie. Confiscated. That's why I believe that all these countries are giving us money because they were caught up in the coup. We already and just like I mean even Newscum over here like admits to people need to stop capitulating to Trump. Well, there, buddy, you said it, didn't you? You said it without knowing what the hell you just said, right? There's a reason. And the AFL-CIO, let me see. I think I have to open up my X account because I believe I did something on this one. Of course, better not search my profile. Oh, you son of a gun. Maybe it was on Act Blue. It might have been Act Blue. Oh, there you go. See, worked with the AFL-CIO, which is USAID. Another that worked under Obama and worked for Mr. Bernie Sanders. Mr. Bernie, and see they were having a live meeting. Christina Livingston, Executive Director, Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment. Been organizing throughout California since 2004. She first became interested in organizing while studying for a BA in sociology at UC Berkeley. Later, she earned an MA in sociology from Cal State. Her first organizing work was through the Union Summer, where she worked with the AFL-CIO community arm, Working America. And then later on to work with Obama. Oh yeah, the new national security one that came out put them all on check. Everyone, I highly advise that you go read that one, because that was a good one too, for sure. Hey, Stratman, what's up, brother? And I think the one that I found was Act Blue, which is under investigation. I'm pretty sure. But that one was backed by Soros and the Democrats, the A15th, which was this group. We're going back to the, the protest of the Palestinians and the Free Palestine and all the bullcrap that we just went through during the Biden presidency, right? Them trying to burn down everything, and a proposal to coordinate a multi-city economic blockade on April 15th in solidarity with Palestine recently received overwhelming commitments to participate around the U.S. and internationally. Act Blue raises bail for anti-Israel protesters. Right? And then Act Blue, A15 was the Soros and the Democrats that planned everything as a coordinated attack. And here's their bail funding for... Oh, you guys are asses. Of course you would take it down. The fundraiser is not accepting donations, but it shows you right there they were accepting donations, right? For the A15. Here's their website. Or maybe not. Oh, these damn shell companies, right? All their little stuff. All organized by the Democrats, right? Organized by Soros, organized by Brennan, organized by Oboomer. The left-wing dark money behemoth behind bail fund for Free Palestine bridge blockers. Part of the Soros-funded Tide Center. And the Tide Center, if you've ever been in Data Republican's website and went through their stuff, the Tide Center just is in everything. Like everything. And, of course, we know why these are organized, right? We know why they're organized. It's to prevent them from being arrested, right? Here, you want to watch one of my... Well, let me see if I can find that video. Let's see, we got to go back to the protests when they were happening in LA, when they all kicked off, and I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go, right? We've had so many freaking comms this year. It's been amazing. Here we go. Cover your ears. This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can handle it. 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 This is not a
can hand off, you can hand off, you can hand off, you can this is not a test. You can hand off, you can hand off, you can hand off, you can this is not a test. You can hand off, you can
So Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
you can hand off, you can
Woo. Right? The Summer of Love. And here's like one of my most watched videos. 2.2 million views. This one went crazy. And then my account got blocked. Like, I lost a bunch of crap on June 16th. Right after this video. I love that one. Yeah. Here we want some Live and Die in LA.
To live and die in LA. To live and die in LA. To live and die in LA. To live and die in LA. To live and die in LA. To live and die in LA.
Yep, under control. Thanks to our
This is not
right
a
military. Here. Hello, Q.
This is all going to be planned from Slough.
And the first time I had it, but you know, you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
That line will go down in history. And now I'm the hunter. Peace over strength. Give us that Moab. Right? When is music night? I don't know about music night. I'll have to see about something like that, Stratman. Maybe one of our nights will be a music night. But then we do have White House Grandpa that does his great shows with the CC Cabin. Let's listen to this one. This is one of my favorite too.
Capabilities. The contrast in leadership could not. After decades in which past presidents coddled and enabled the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, President Trump finally ended the immediate threat of a nuclear Iranian regime. The Iranian regime was weeks away from being able to produce a nuclear weapon that would threaten the entire world before President Trump took this decisive action on Saturday night to obliterate their nuclear capabilities. The contrast in leadership could not be more clear. Barack Obama and Joe Biden sent pallets of cash, American taxpayer dollars, in a failed attempt to buy the Iranian regime's compliance with a weak and ineffective deal. President Trump sent a fleet of American warplanes to destroy Iran's ability to produce a nuclear weapon. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane covered the operation in great detail at their briefing this morning at the Pentagon, and I encourage every American to watch it.
More than 15 years after they started their life's work, the phone rang and the President of the United States ordered the B-2 force. First, let me set the stage for you.
2008, something unbelievable happened for us in the FBI. We were getting lots of rumors about this high-level asset that worked for several intelligence agencies at the same time. He worked for the Saudi Intelligence Service. He worked for the CIA, and he was being developed as a political asset in Chicago, Illinois. He was not even a United States citizen, but it was said that he was a student visa and that he was a national from another country. In 2008, everyone in the intelligence structure found out who he was. It was this individual, whose name I don't like to say, who became president in 2008 of the United States.
And I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The name
the office of President of the United
States.
One of his code names was Renegade. His real name was Barry Soetoro, but he adopted a different name for his political career. When they ran him for president, the cabal, basically, this was the culmination of so many of their plans for so many years. His mission was to destroy the United States from within, one institution at a time. One of the things he did, of course, was he defunded our military. He brought down the resources that they got. But then he ordered our military in many, many instances and in various theaters to attack our allies and to defend and supply and help our enemies. That's exactly how he created ISIS. He would say publicly that the military were going to bomb our enemies, but then he would have the military actually bomb enemies of ISIS, our allies. He gave ISIS funding and equipment by basically ordering our military to take equipment into a certain theater and then abandon it. And the commanders would say, that's ridiculous. We'd just be handing that stuff over to ISIS. And the president's office would say, don't question orders.
And that video still gets shared and quoted every day. Half a million views. Not bad for a frog. And then we're going to end the show with
strange things that happen here. Are you?
With It's Time.
Are you?
Thank you, everyone, for joining the show tonight.
Up a man, they say, who murdered 3. Strange things that
Done
happen
doing some digging, but we did some digging. We found some very interesting things.
Are you coming to the tree where dead man called out for his love to flee? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree?
Happy birthday, Marie.
Necklace of hope, side by side with me. Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where they strung up a man, they say we were free? Strange things that happened here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree? Death and call out for his love to free. Strange things that happened here, no stranger would it be.
If we met at midnight at the hanging tree. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight, for hanging out with me for just a couple hours a day. I do these shows every day at 9 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. if you're on the west side, like me. Oh, wait, before we go, look what this one just came out. So a Massachusetts woman pleads guilty to trafficking stolen human remains. What? December 8th, 2025. The United States Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Pennsylvania announces that Katrina McLean, age 46, of Bradford, Massachusetts, pled guilty today before Chief United States District Judge Matthew W. Braun to interstate transport of stolen human remains. According to United States Attorney, McLean admitted that from 2018 through 2022, she bought human remains that she knew to have been stolen from Harvard Medical School. Guys, like, how much corruption is at Harvard, right? Like, what the shit? She knew to have been stolen from Harvard Medical School and transported them from Massachusetts to Pennsylvania. McLean also sold stolen human remains to others, including Jeremy Pauley, who previously entered a guilty plea to a felony information. From 2008 through 2022, Cedric Lodge, who managed the morgue for the Anatomical Gifts program at Harvard Medical School located in Boston, Massachusetts, stole organs and other parts of cadavers donated for medical research and education before their scheduled cremation. Lodge at times transported stolen remains from Boston to his residence in Goffstown, New Hampshire, where he and his wife, Denise Lodge, sold the remains to Katrina McLean and others, making arrangements via cellular, telephone, and social media websites. I mean, I don't know what social media website there is to buy human remains, but apparently there is. On some occasions, McLean transported stolen remains to Pennsylvania. Several other defendants have previously entered guilty pleas, including Jeremy Pauley, Cedric Lodge, Denise Lodge, Joshua Taylor, Andrew Insanian, Matthew Lampe, and Angelo Perea. Lampe was sentenced to 15 months in prison, and Perea was sentenced to 18 months. Cedric Loge, Dennis Loge, Joshua Taylor, and Andrew Esenia are all still awaiting sentencing. Additionally, Candace Chapman Scott, who stole remains from an Arkansas crematorium where she was employed and sold him to Polly in Pennsylvania, entered a plea of guilty in Arkansas federal court and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The case was investigated by the FBI, the United States Postal Inspection by the UPS, United States Postal Inspection Service, and the East Pennsboro Township Police Department. Assistant U.S. Attorney Allison V. Martin is prosecuting the case. The maximum penalty under federal law for this offense is 10 years of imprisonment, a term of supervised release following imprisonment, and a fine. A sentence following a finding of guilt is imposed by the judge after consideration of applicable federal sentencing statutes. Right. Sick. Gross. Get a job. Get a job, body part hustlers, right? Well, they got a job. They're hustling remains, right? Like, these people are evil. These people are sick. And remember, Tulsi just came out with that one with that lady that was stealing abortion, right? Straight from people. So we live in a sick world, people, and we know it. But I must say that I love when I see reports like this that come out, right? Where they caught them. And at Harvard, like, what the crap? Anatomical gifts program at Harvard, where this guy was caught. Like, what the hell? People are sick, man. These people are sick. Whew. All right, everyone. We're going to end with that one, I guess, because I did want to show you guys that one. I don't think there was any other ones that I wanted to show. Oh, there was this one. Look at this one. Senior manager for government contractor. So we got a contractor that was charged in cybersecurity fraud scheme. A federal jury in D.C. returned an indictment yesterday charging a former senior management of a Virginia-based government contractor. Just say it. Senior manager at the CIA government contractor with major government fraud, wire fraud, and obstructing federal audits for allegedly carrying out a multi-year scheme to mislead federal agencies about the security of a cloud-based platform used by the U.S. Army and other government customers. According to documents from approximately March 2020 through at least November 2020, Daniel Hilmer, 53, of Chantilly, Virginia, allegedly carried out a scheme to defraud the United States by obstructing federal auditors and falsely representing that the contractor's cloud platform had implemented required security controls. The indictment alleges that although the platform was marketed as a secure environment to or for federal agencies, Hilmer concealed that the platform's non-compliance with security controls under the Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program and the Department of Defense Risk Management Framework. Specifically, the indictment alleges that Hilmer falsely represented that security controls were implemented at the FedRAMP high baseline and at Department of Defense impact levels 4 and 5, despite repeated warnings that the system lacked required access controls, logging, monitoring, and other capabilities. But I bet you he still got a shit ton of money from the government. As part of the scheme, Hilmer allegedly sought to influence and obstruct third-party accessors during required audits in 20 and 21 by concealing deficiencies and instructing others to hide the true state of the system during testing and demonstrations. She also allegedly made false and misleading representations to the U.S. Army to induce it to sponsor the platform for a Department of Defense provisional authorization. According to the indictment, Hilmer submitted and caused others to submit authorized materials to accessors, authorizing officials and government customers that she knew contained materially false information in order to obtain and maintain government contracts and authorizations to operate. Yeah, more crooks in your state, right? They're all over, Stevie, for sure. But yeah, here's another one. I mean, they even admit it, right? A Virginia-based government contractor. Like, can you just say the 3-letter agency? Do you want to? No, you'll just leave it to us to to figure that one out. A Virginia-based government contractor. Thank you. Who defrauded the Army and the Department of Defense with fake security. I don't understand how they didn't get like that. Just, you think there would be more inspection there when it comes down to them saying that they have that level of security, right? I mean, I kind of build software, so I understand, but I'm like, how the hell do you get, how does it even get to that part, right? The GSA OIG, Defense Criminal Investigation, Naval Criminal Investigative Service, and the Department of Army Criminal Investigation Divisions are investigating this court case. AKA, she is screwed. Trial attorneys Lauren Archer and Paul Hayden of the Criminal Division's Fraud Section are prosecuting the case. Who knows, Lulu? It's always a good question, right? Here's another one. A virtual asset trading platform pleads guilty to violating the Travel Act and other federal criminal charges, right? Connecticut-based oil trader sentenced to 15 minutes in prison for international bribery and money laundering. A Texas businessman convicted for scheme to bribe Mexican government officials. Very, very interesting sometimes, the stuff that's being released. And you kind of just have to sit back and wonder what the shit is going on sometimes, right? Justice Department sues Minneapolis public schools for racial discrimination against teachers. Federal court prohibits Tampa Bay pharmacists from filling opioid prescriptions. And I always love it how sometimes they just kind of twinkle these in here, right? Like, oh, a federal court, a pharmacist can't fill, right, prescriptions. To virtual asset trading platform pleads guilty. Senior management of government contractor. The CIA contractor charged with cybersecurity fraud. A high-level Colombian cocaine trafficker sentenced to 14 years in prison. The court approved Justice Department settlement in United Healthcare Group and Emidus merger. Department Justice rule restores equal protection for all in civil rights enforcement. Announces actions to combat 2 Russian state-sponsored cyber criminal attack groups. And 2 Russian state-sponsored cyber criminal hacking groups, but then charging a Ukrainian national. Oh man, United States Department of Justice transfers 14 Mexican nationals with drug or firearm convictions to Mexico under international treason or prisoner transfer treaty. And I believe this was right after, right? Trump had just met the lady, the president of Mexico, for the FIFA thing, right? When they gave him the award, she was there. Looked very nervous. Transferred 14 Mexican nationals on Friday to Mexican authorities. Pursuant to the International Prisoner Transfer Treaty, each individual was serving a federal sentence in the United States for drug distribution offenses, illegal firearm offenses, or both. And now you can get the F out because we're not paying for you. It costs money to house criminals, so at least they might as well be American citizens and not illegals. They can get the hell out. I think 2 million have agreed to voluntarily ex-nay themselves and go back home. Not bad. Not bad. Justice Department marks Texas' successful completion of reforms at 13 state operational facilities for people with intellectual disabilities. And we'll end it with this one. U.S. authorities shut down a major China-linked AI tech smuggling network. So we got a lot of stuff moving, people. A lot of things are being caught, are being sentenced. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of things were still happening during Biden. I showed you guys all the time videos of all the traffickers being caught, right? Biden was a crazy time. COVID was crazy. We lived through a very crazy moment in history, right? That never really was achieved before by the globalists, which was literally shutting down the whole world. This world can't agree on the color of the fucking sky than to be able to shut down everything at one time. It was all coordinated. And we lived through some crazy stuff, and we're still here, and we're still fighting every day to save our wonderful country, right, from going down the shithole. You gotta love President Trump. He's really coming out and kind of letting the curse words flow, right? And I love it. I love him to hear. I love it when he's just honest and open. And just like last night, he said, my speechwriters are getting awards, and I'm not even reading their script. I haven't read this teleprompter the whole night, but yet my speechwriter will get an award for the best speech ever written, and I was just going off the cuff. You gotta love that man, right? And I really think that the news, the lamestream media, right? They try to hide how much people actually love Trump, right? Even in their stupid little polls, they'll just be like, this poll showed that 70% of Democrats and 50% of Republicans are against Trump, and the poll number is like 1,000 people. Get the fuck out of here, right? 1,000 people. We can get more of that on an X post, right? On a freaking poll for a nobody. 1,000 freaking people. Get out of here. Their polls are always shit, and they know it. All right, buddy. Well, once again, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you guys had fun with me. I hope I have fun hanging out with you guys always. That first show I did, I tried to do it like a little news show, right? But then it just, I don't know, it didn't feel right. I have to get you guys back in this chat, part of the show, just like you guys have always been. Yeah, most transparent, and they don't like it. They can say what they want. Just like he said, I disappear for a day. You guys, there's something wrong with Trump. Get the hell out of here. You people are crazy. He just straight tells them, right? You are the worst reporter ever. You work for ABC. Get the hell out of here. Watch this one, right? We're going to have a lot of good stuff to go back and look at these last 4 years. And just like Trump keeps telling us, it's only been 10 months. It's only been 10 months. It's only been 10 months. We went from 9.5 interest rate down to 2, right? But no one wants to acknowledge that part. If anything, every administration does blame the other administration, but they usually cannot fix the damn problem. Trump blames the last administration because they did mess everything up, and he fixes the problem. So there you go. That's your 1-2 punch. I'll tell you it was all Joe Biden, and I'll fix it. I'll show you how to fix it. I'll show you how to make us the most, right, the best country in the world that we are. No one's flooding into freaking any other country that wants to be, right, part of America. That's why so many people come to this country, because they want our freedoms, and we'll be damned if we let them take it from us. And that's what I think a lot of this challenge was, right? Well, a lot of us are awake. A lot of us see what's going on. POTUS hears us, and he tells us that all the time when he reposts Q memes, when he reposts You know, people that are posting stuff that don't even have big accounts. He's letting us know that I hear you. I hear you. Speak out. You don't think that he doesn't want to see arrest as well? He screams for it, and you're right, and he's an authoritarian. He needs to know that we are all behind him. We all want to see justice. We all want to see these traitors get, you know what I mean, dragged out of Congress, right? I wish they would just do it in one big swoop and just get them all the hell out of there, right? Every one of them. I don't care. Start new. Start all over. I'll comment on some of them, or hey, Sloopy. Great to see you, Sloopy. I'm just wrapping it up too. And I'll wrap it up, yeah. To me, they're all traitors. Every freaking one of them, right? They tried to take our freedoms. They tried to take everything. They try to come back in and say that they're for Trump or they're for us, but they're really not. That's why nothing has been done. They've passed one freaking bill, right? They're supposed to pass a bill and then another one and another one and another one and another one and another one, but they haven't done shit. For me, I wouldn't let them go home. You don't get a Christmas this year. Figure this shit out. Oh, it's last minute. Yeah, you guys have had a long time since they messed up Obamacare to get this shit fixed, right? Trump's gonna fix it. That's what's gonna happen. Because that's what that man does. He fixes everything. None of them have a plan. None of them do. But Trump does. I guarantee it. Probably had one since Obama put his 35,000 different tracking codes into everything and make healthcare a fucking nightmare for everyone. I don't know if most people know that, right? Unless you're in the medical field. But yeah, it went from 3,500 codes to 35,000 different codes. They used Obama to do stuff with children. We'll just leave it at that. And Trump's starting to come out with that as well. Just let the man talk. That's all you have to do. And he'll tell us everything. But he's not scared. He doesn't care. He goes on Politico. He goes on, CNN still. He goes on everywhere. And I think we're about to see him start popping right back up on Joe Rogan and all of the podcasts that he was on before. So I think it's going to be a really fun midterms with Trump on the campaign trail, right? This is going to be fun. We get POTUS back in the rallies again. And for us Anons, that's what we love, right? We love POTUS out and about with the people at the rallies. Just keep that man freaking protected, right? Keep that man protected. Because there's a lot of people out there that do not like that man. So, I love you guys. I hope you had fun tonight. Tune back in with me tomorrow night. Every night, I'll be doing this show at 9 p.m. EST. We'll try to keep it consistent so that everybody kind of knows what time I'm on. And I know it's a little bit later for some, but I felt like 9 p.m. was a good time. Everybody's starting to settle down, unless you're on the West Coast and you're probably eating dinner. But try to do these shows a little bit later. I know a lot of shows do morning shows, and I thought about doing a 6 a.m. show, 3 a.m. my time, but that one's a little that one I might actually still be sleeping at some of those, right? So I decided to choose a later time at night. So I hope this time kind of fits with everyone. We kind of went with the same one with our watch parties, right? So Lulu, well, I hope you enjoy your company the next 3 nights, Lulu. I know a lot of people are about to have a lot of company with the holidays coming up, so but thank you everyone for stopping by. Lulu, Sloopy, Slooply Lou, we had Jamie, we had 47 Lights, TV Bananas, we always love when you're in here, Dick Tracy, Stratman Picks, you were in here as well, my friend. So thank you everybody that stopped in. Marie, it's always good to have you guys. So join me on the next one, and to my lurkers too that are not in the chat and that are listening. Yeah, what is this sleepeth you speak of? I hear you on that one. But I gotta say that I probably do get, like, I don't know, 4 hours of sleep a night, 3 or 4, at least 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night, so that I can at least somewhat function. Because honestly, if I don't get that, my back just kills me, and then it sucks, right? So, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. You see my little, this is my computer background. Yo, Pepe. All my children see this when they come in the room. There's Pepes everywhere. All right, everybody. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you know that when I'm going live. And if you would like to donate to the show, then please hit the Ko-fi link that I did not post anywhere, but it is scrolling on the bottom of the screen in the lower thirds. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.